everyone, and welcome to my last book haul of 2017. That is crazy to say, but here we are. We're at my summer book haul, my last ever book haul of this entire year, and of course, it's another huge one. Who's surprised? Not me. I always say it. So I actually got a few books for Christmas this year, and I actually purchased quite a few this month, and of course, I got a lot sent by publishers and book boxes. So further ado, let's just dive right into the very last book haul of this entire year. Of course, we'll have plenty more in 2018, but let's take a moment to reflect on all of the amazing books I hauled this year. There was a lot. The first book I want to show you guys is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. This is the illustrated edition that just came out. This is obviously like written by Newt Scamander, J.K. Rowling, so this is the new edition that came out every year. My husband likes to get me like a big Harry Potter book, and this is the one this year. It's beautiful. I love the illustrations of this one. I mean, honestly, there are so many like Harry Potter coffee table books, and I want them all, but I try to be realistic. Like, I don't have a lot of room on my shelf, so I try to pick ones that I really want, and this is one that I wanted for a while, and it's beautiful, and I love it. It's got Buckbeak on the cover, and it's just stunning. It's got all of the beasts in it. Each of them have their own page. I can't wait to take so many photos with this book. And then the two other books I got for Christmas are like kind of self-help devotional books type of thing. The first one I got is A Simplified Life by Emily Lee. Practical Tools for Intentional Living. And this is, I think, kind of a devotional and also kind of just a book that helps you with living, I guess. So like each chapter is a different thing, like Simplified Space, Creating a Decluttered, Meaningful Home, Simplified Meals, and that really talks about meal planning, finances, hospitality, technology, you know, stuff like that. And there's also places where you can fill in things like this is how do I want my home to feel? What do I want to see when I walk in the door at night or into the kitchen? I honestly love books like these. Always very interested in reading about budgets and finances and how other people clean and just how other people manage their homes, because I feel like I learn a lot from other people that do that, and I kind of take bits and pieces from places with what I've learned and just implement it in my own house, and I am excited to read it. I'm excited to try to use it in my life. And the other book I got for Christmas is The Weekly Prayer Project. This is a challenge to journal, pray, reflect, and connect with God. I am a religious person. I'm a Christian, and I feel 2017 was a really big disconnect year for me. I really wasn't as focused and connected with God as I should have been, and I really want to make a change in that in 2018. So I heard about this book and I saw it's great. I am a person that loves organizing and setting tasks for myself, and knowing that this is a task for me and how it's weekly, I really enjoy that. So literally there are 52 weeks in this book, just like 52 weeks in a year. So I plan to start this as soon as the new year hits. I'm going to do it a week at a time. So basically it tells you how to use this journal, and basically you're supposed to write down things. So I really like how it's going to be a journal and a prayer journal at that. So I'm really hoping this helps me embrace my walk with God and just really enhance it, because I really want next year to be a year where I really focus on the things that matter, and that is definitely one of the main things, if not the only thing that matters. And I really felt like this year I lacked on it, and that's my own personal fault. So I'm very excited to check out this book and to do it every single week. So on to the books I bought, because I did buy like 6 or 7 books this month, which is quite a lot for me, but I was like, it's the holiday season, why not? That is Eleanor Oliphant, hopefully I said that right, It's Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. This is an adult literary fiction book, and I have just heard so many amazing things about it. It's on a lot of people's favorite lists for this year, and I just cannot wait to read it. So basically follow main character Eleanor, who is very much struggles with connecting with people, socializing, and things like that. She has really bad social skills, and she lives at home pretty much and doesn't really connect to anybody except for her mother. Then she meets a guy that's in her IT department where she works at, and then her and this guy save this older gentleman, and they become friends. So basically this is a self-discovery book where Eleanor learns who she is, and you also learn why she has repressed a lot of her memories that she has, and maybe why she is the way she is of things that happened to her in the past. I've heard nothing but amazing things about it. One of my main goals next year is to read more literary fiction. I cannot wait to read this book. Like, it's not on my January TBR, but I'm gonna try to make time for it because I'm just so excited for it. The next book I bought is 3 Sides of a Heart, which is a short story anthology all about love triangles. I'm okay with, because it's upfront that it's about love triangles. Other books I get into, I feel like they just kind of sneak it in there, and I'm like, oh, great. But this one literally is chock full of love triangle stories, full of drama, full of amazing things like that. So this is a whole bunch of authors in it: Ray Carson, Brandy Colbert, Katie Cadugno, Julie Murphy, Garth Nix, Saba Tahir, Veronica Roth, E.K. Johnston, Justina Ireland. It has so many authors in it. Super excited to read this. Probably gonna read this around Valentine's Day. which is probably not the best idea because it's about love triangles, so yay. But either way, super excited for this one. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this book at all. Honestly, I feel like it kind of just went under the radar, but I'm super excited to read it. The next book I bought is The Last Miss Parish by Liv Constantine. And I'm not gonna lie to you, one of the main reasons I bought this book is because it's in Reese's book club. So Reese Witherspoon now has a book club. I didn't learn about it till like 4 or 5 months ago when they used one of my photos on their Instagram. I was like, oh, Reese Witherspoon has a book club. And I actually kind of enjoy her picks. It is an adult thriller, and it's been told like it's kind of like Single White Female, which sounds really scary. And this is a debut novel, and it's basically about a coolly manipulative woman and a wealthy golden couple from a stunning new voice and a psychological expense. So it's basically about this woman who's fed up of being nobody, and then she kind of latches on to this golden couple, in particular the wife, and tries to befriend her. So I'm guessing something's gonna happen. She might try to steal her husband or just try to steal this woman's life. I don't know. I'm also wanting to read more thrillers next year, so super excited to check this one out. And the cover looks amazing. I'm super excited to see what it's all about. I haven't heard a lot about that one as well either. The next one I bought was a whim. I've heard about this book for years and years and just never thought I would be into it, but I decided I had a gift card, so I was like, let's just go ahead and just buy it, and if I like it, I like it. If I don't, no big deal. And that is The Nightingale by Kristen and Hanna. I have heard so many amazing things about this book. This is another adult book. Can you sense a trend already? I'm trying to read more adult books next year, if you can tell. I'm reading a lot of YA too, so don't worry. The reason I've been steered clear of it because number one, the sheer size. This thing is huge. But this takes place in World War II, and it follows two sisters, I believe, who are on opposite sides or something of that. It tells the story of two sisters separated by years and experience. So that's all I know about it. That's all I want to know. I've heard nothing but amazing things about Kristen Hanna's books, and there's one book of hers that's coming out next year that I'm really interested in. So I thought I will read this maybe in February. I don't know. I keep saying winter. Winter's really only like 2 more months, so I need to like read this now apparently. But either way, super excited to read it. The next book I bought is Roomies by Christina Lauren. I read a book by Christina Lauren this year called Loving or Dating You, Hating You, and I really enjoyed it. It's like a chick lit book, and I love chick lit. This is all about this woman named Holland who listens to the subway musician. Like, she takes her time out of her day to go onto the subway just to hear this musician, and then I think like he saves her like an accident, like a subway accident or something, and she learns more about him, and that his green card is expiring, so she decides that they're just gonna get married so he can stay in the States. That's why this is called Roomies. And I think what happens is he becomes a Broadway hit and things are happening. They're learning to like maybe fall in love, but also being married. I don't know. I'm expecting a really cute fluffy ride. That's all I know. The next stack of books I want to show you were sent to me. The first book that was sent to me by Viking, and that is Still Me by Jojo Moyes. This is the sequel, or the third book should I say, in the Me Before You series. Me Before You it's definitely a book. You either love that book or you hate that book. It's got a lot of controversy around it due to the disabled representation that it has. I'll try to leave some links down below of the articles I've seen from Own Voices for Disabled Rep for that book. People do not like that book for the controversy that it brings. I did enjoy it. I think if I would read it again, knowing what I know about it, it would probably lessen my love for it, but it was still overall a fun, cute book with a lot of tears, that's for sure. I think you have to go into it reading it critically, especially knowing that you know all that stuff now. But so I liked the first one, Me Before You, then After You came out, and I really did not like that. I did not see a point for that book at all. And then I heard this one was being released, Still Me. So it's the sequel to After You. So I am interested in it. I'm definitely going to read it. Hence why I have a review copy right here. They sent me a finished one too at that. Thank you so much. But I'm skeptical of it because I feel like the sequel did not need to exist. And I don't know if this one needs to exist. This could be amazing. I definitely plan to read this. And yeah, I do love Louisa as a main character. I think she's a quirky, fun, great character to read about. And I loved reading about her sadness and how it really dealt with her sadness in the second book. But overall, I just felt like it was just kind of a meh book. So I'm excited to read this. We'll see if I like it or not. Who knows? The next book, I have to show you the actual dust jacket for it because I'm actually currently reading that, and that is Unearthed by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I got sent this by Disney Hyperion. This is a sci-fi new series, I believe, and it literally, I'm halfway through it right now. I'd say if you're a fan of Indiana Jones, you need to read this book. It's about these two main characters that end up on this planet called Gaia. And Gaia was the home to this alien race called the Undying, who had technology light years before us. Like, they were learning technology like before we even were like cavemen and stuff like that. So the Undying had all this amazing technology at their hands, and then they realized that they were getting very greedy and very just shallow and stuff like that. So basically, Undying went extinct, but then they left like this coded message to Earth because Earth is now really on its last leg. They're not having a lot of resources. So these two people, Amelia and Jules, go to Gaia. They don't go together. They meet up together, and they both have very, very different drives to be on Gaia. But basically their whole objective is to go to this temple on Gaia and to uncode this message that the Undying left them for Earth to see. And I'd say it's literally like Indiana Jones. Like, they're going through this temple with all these pitfalls and things like that. So if you're a fan of like adventure books and sci-fi, I highly recommend this one. I'm really enjoying it so far. The next two books Simon & Schuster sent to me, and they sent me Scythe by Neil Shusterman, which I have read. Sent me the sequel Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman, which is coming out next month, and I'm super excited to read this. So I'm not going to tell you what this book is about because it's a sequel, so that would be spoiling you, so I will tell you what this one is about. This is about a world where basically poverty does not exist, death does not exist, everything is going good, everything's pretty much controlled by this thundercloud in the sky. Like, it helps build roads, schools, everything like that. And the people that control death are scythes. They decide who's going to die. Each of them have their own methods. And basically in this first book, we follow two teenagers that become apprentices to scythes and learn how the scythes work and how they each have different methods. It's a very, very good book. I was not expecting to love it as much as I did. I highly recommend it. Definitely very thought-provoking. So super excited to read Thunderhead because I don't know what's going to happen. I am very, very nervous because this one was kind of scary at the end. Like, I was like, what is going on? The next book Random House sent to me, and The Music Shop by Rachel Joyce. I cannot talk today, apparently. This is another adult book. I know it's a lot of adult books, just forgive me. This takes place in 1988. Basically, this centers around a record store, and this man that owns a record store, and this woman comes in and wants to learn how to play music and things like that, and they form a relationship. I believe this is set in London. I'm not too sure, but either way, I'm excited to read it. It's definitely a book I've never heard anyone talk about before. I just found it on Goodreads, and I was like, oh, this looks very interesting. Very much kind of an indie-ish type of book. We'll have to see what I feel about it, but it sounds adorable, and I'm planning to read this in January. The next book I got sent was Witchwood by Tahereh Mafi. This is a sequel or companion novel to Furthermore, also by Tahereh Mafi, and I'm super excited to read it. I actually just ordered Furthermore because another one of my goals next year, since a good trend here, goals for this haul, is to read more middle grade books. And this is a middle grade novel. So basically, I don't know much about this book. I kind of didn't want to know much about it, even though it is a companion novel. What I do know about Furthermore, it's about a girl named Alice who lives in a world full of color, and she herself is colorless and can't see colors. And basically, she has to go on this journey to save her father. I don't know. I've heard amazing things about that book. Super excited to read it. Super excited also to read this one. Then from Harper Teen, I got Love, Life, and the List by Casey West. I got a finished copy. I actually just reviewed this in a Match It review. I loved it. A girl named Abby who is a artist, and she tries to make herself a heart list of ways to grow as an artist, and it also has great love in it. It's just adorable. If you love sugar sweet books, check this one out. It's my new favorite Casey West book. I adored it. It's so freaking cute. Then from Dial, I have A Map for Wrecked Girls from Jessica Taylor. I do not know a lot about this book. From what I've read, it's about these two sisters that are best friends, and basically what happens is I think they get stranded on an island with another boy, and they have to find their way out, and yeah, they're struggling. That's all I know about it. I didn't think it was gonna be them stranded on an island. It sounds interesting. I haven't heard a ton of things about this book, so I'll have to look up more reviews on it, but it sounds interesting and almost like a summary type of book, which is interesting because it's the dead of winter right now. Then I have a graphic novel to share with you guys, and that is Piper by Jay Asher and Jessica Freiburg. This is a very, very short graphic novel. I don't know anything about this book. I think it's like supposed to be like the Pied Piper, if you will, and I think this girl's supposed to be blind. I don't know anything about it. It's super short, so I was like, this is gonna be perfect for like if I'm just trying to find a filler book in between books and don't know what mood I'm in to read a book. I'll just pick up this perfect graphic novel. I haven't heard anything about this book. So if you know anything about it, let me know. The next book is A Line in the Dark by Melinda Lowe. Look at this cover, creepy as mess. This is about, it's almost like a psychological thriller. You have Jess and Angie who are best friends, and that's the most important thing, basically, even if Angie can't see how Jess truly feels. So I think Jess is basically in love with Angie, but Angie doesn't see that. And then a new girl comes into town and really drags Angie's attention away from Jess, and Jess gets very, very jealous, like almost to the point of kind of, I don't know if we're really interesting things about this book, how it's a story within a story. So I don't know if we're gonna get Jess is writing a story about her like obsession with Angie. I don't know. I've heard really good things about this book. It sounds like it's like the perfect spooky book to read because it's about like a friendship that's getting a little bit manipulative and a little bit obsessive. I don't know, super excited to check it out. Then I also have At the Edge of the Universe by Sean David Hutchinson. This author I've heard a ton about on BookTube. Two boys named Tommy and Ozzy who have been best friends, and they've also been boyfriends ever since like 8th grade, I believe. Then one day Tommy just vanishes. Accurately, he ceased to exist, erased from the minds and memories of everyone who knew him. Everyone except Ozzy. So Ozzy knows that Tommy existed and nobody else believes him that Tommy existed because they were just erased from his mind. So that's all I know about this book. Sean David Hutchinson is known for writing contemporary fiction with a little bit of magical realism in it. So I expect there's going to be like a really magical thing in this book. I don't know how it's going to come into play. I've heard mixed reviews about this one. Like I said, his favorite one that everyone loves is Where the Ants, which I do plan to check out, but I'm interested to check this one out. And the last two books before I get into my book box reviews, I believe are both from Tor. The first one is Weave a Circle Round by Bruce Conville, and this is, it says, discover your inner child once again in this debut fantasy. A girl named Freddie, and she lives in this house, and I think it's almost haunted or something like that. Okay, no. Then two extremely odd neighbors move in next door. So basically her neighbors are not normal. Neither is their house, which defies the laws of the physics. So basically I think this is like a, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a, maybe a fantasy slash paranormal type of book? I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it. Love the cover though. One Tor sent to me is All the Explosions Were Someone Else's Fault by James Allen Gardner. This is a superhero type of book where basically we have two groups. We have the Sparks who are champions of science and they have all these powers, and we have these Darklings who are creatures of myth and magic. So ghosts, vampires, things like that. And then we have a girl named Kim who is just an ordinary college student until a freak accident happens and transforms Kim and her three housemates into honest to godness Sparks. Then they're thrust into this war raging against the Sparks and the Darklings, and they have to choose which side. It sounds really, really fun. I'm really interested in superhero books lately ever since I read Renegades by Marissa Meyer, so definitely excited to check this one out. The last three books I have to show you come from book boxes. The first one is from Crate, also from Uppercase. I got the same box, it's the same book in two different boxes, but I did a giveaway for one of them, so I only have one to show you. So that one is Foolish Hearts by MS Mills. This one came in Crate and Uppercase, like I just said. I've already read this, really enjoyed it. It's a cute, wide, contemporary book, basically about self-discovery and about a high school like drama play going on. Really enjoyed it, would highly recommend. The other two books I got for my Book of the Month picks for December, both of them thrillers. The first one is The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen, and basically I'm just going to read you. When you read this book, you will make many assumptions. You will assume you're reading about a jealous ex-wife. You will assume that she is obsessed with their replacement, a younger, beautiful woman who is about to marry the man they both love. You will assume that you know the anatomy of this tangled love triangle. Assume nothing. Read between the lies. This sounds like really interesting. It's basically about a woman that steals another woman's life, and I don't know, sounds creepy, sounds dark. I'm into it. And the other one is The Shock Man by Cj Tudor. This one sounds very creepy. This takes place in 1986, or it starts off that way, and it follows a boy named Eddie with his friends, and they basically draw these chalk figurines to like warn each other from bullies. It's like their way to talk to each other, is these chalk figurines. And Eddie one day discovers a chalk figurine right near a dismembered little girl in the woods, and things happen from there. I think the friends kind of split up, and this happens and then the story takes place years later when they're all grown up. Eddie is a school teacher of where he went to school at, and he's not doing very good, and then he receives a letter in the mail with the only thing in it is a chalk figurine, the same one that was literally next to that dead girl, and all of his friends get one as well, and basically they think nothing of it. They're like, this is weird, and then one of them ends up dead. So Sounds really scary. Super excited to read it. So there you have it. Those are all the books I got or received and bought, all those things in December. So a lot to add to my TBR shelf, which I'm super excited about because a lot of these I genuinely want to read and I'm super excited to read, and actually I'm planning to read in the next 3 months. My plan is to, like, as soon as I haul them, to read them. Gotta do it. Gotta keep my TBR small-ish. If you've heard of any of these books, please let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on them. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one.